And an enthusiastic crowd on hand as CBS Sports presents the National Football League. It's the San Francisco 49ers against the New Orleans Saints. And good afternoon again, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton, and let's take care of old business first, the strike. Bill Walsh, concerned this week, told his team, let's forget about personalities, economics, and politics. Let's respect the people who have proven they could do the job and have sacrificed. He was talking to the veterans who did not cross the line, talking about the likes of Joe Montana, Roger Craig, and all of the rest who did cross the line. Meanwhile, Jim Mora, the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, said it was tearing at him this week that people who had been friends on the Saints no longer was speaking with each other. Guys who had driven to the game no longer was speaking. He says that bothered him tremendously. That's the scene coming in. Terry Bradshaw is my partner back home in Louisiana again, Terry, and I've got to ask you about the emotions that you saw of the two teams.
Meeting with the Saints, Dick, you got the feeling that they were unsure of themselves, afraid to make a move, very quiet, very subdued. The 49ers, on the other hand, a little more up, a little more relaxed. Could be that Walsh's meeting early in the week was the key that relaxed his football team. Last night, Jim Mora met with the Saints, hoping to get that same relaxed atmosphere. I get the feeling today, watching these two teams, they have the attitude of a championship playoff game. That's what it feels like.
There is that atmosphere, no question. Now, the 49ers come in with a whole slew of injuries, including defensive line injuries that make them thin there against what could be a good running attack by the New Orleans Saints. So as we go in, notwithstanding the injuries, how do you see this game?
Well, the game's going to boil down to the quarterbacks. Montana's had Clark and Francis in, his two key receivers. They played in the replacement game. They should be sharp today. On the other hand, you've got Hebert, who hasn't thrown a pass in 5 weeks. Also, he's got the running attack. So it's the Saints running against Montana, the quarterbacks and the receivers of the 49ers.
All right, and we're set to go here in New Orleans. And keep in mind that the Saints are beginning 4 weeks of division play, and this is the only game they'll play at home. They have 3 road games coming up in the next 3 games against divisional foes. The Saints have won the toss and will be receiving, and Ray Wersching, you saw, getting set to kick off. Mel Gray goes back for the New Orleans Saints, and that's what he did last year, a club record, and keep in mind the 49ers are aware of that. He is the deep man. Barry Word, who will start at fullback, is also back there for the Saints as Wersching, the hardened veteran, getting set to kick off. 49ers at 4-1, the Saints 3-2. We're underway at the Superdome. And it's going to be Mel Gray, a yard in the end zone. And Gray brings it out just beyond the 20-yard line, and the tackle is made by Tom Rathman. Bobby Hebert starting at quarterback for the Saints, and this is the defense he will face of the San Francisco 49ers. And because of their injuries, Larry Roberts starts at left end, Michael Carter and Dwayne Board in the 3-4 base. Milt McCall, Jim FAHNHORST, Michael Walter, and Keena Turner are the linebackers. And in the secondary, Bakire and Griffin the corners. Jeff Fuller makes his first start since his rookie year, not counting 2 games in the replacement season.
Time is 14:52.
Dick Jorgensen, the referee, noticed a problem with the clock, and he has told everyone the clock did not move, that 8 seconds should have elapsed, and 14:52 should be showing.
They've got to get everyone warmed up and get them punching the clock in, Dick, and get the thing going.
Please reset the clock to 14:52. 14:52, thank you.
And that's the first cheer of the ball game, other than the Saints being introduced, is the cheer to get the clock right. In any event, the Saints on offense. You saw Bobby Hebert, who still has not jumped out. None of the quarterbacks who have been here have jumped out and have dominated. 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line. Those are Hebert's 2-game statistics. In motion is Eric Martin. And here is Barry Word cutting inside. Word is starting overview for Jordan because they want to get some running ability out of the fullback position. Here's the rest of the offense for the Saints. Ruben Mays, of course, is their bulwark carrying the ball. Eric Martin and Mike Jones are the wide receivers. Dombrowski starting at left tackle with Comiskey, Hilgenberg, Trapillo, a rookie, Stan Brock, the veteran, and John Tice is the tight end. Picked up 3 on the play, 2nd down and 7 on the 26, and Mel Gray has come in the ball game, replacing Barry Word. And Gray goes in motion. Ruben Mays doesn't get much in the middle of the 49er line. Came up strong, led by Michael Carter and Jim FAHNHORST, the inside linebacker. So it's third down in a passing situation, Terry.
The thing we can look for today, look for Mel Gray doing a lot of the motion coming out of the backfield and the counter action that time by Hebert trying to go up inside. Saints will be successful going outside. But the real key will be Mays in motion, throwing option passes to him.
Basically, this is a running club. They don't have any speed burners on the outside. Dalton Hilliard is in the ball game at running back, and the shotgun as Gray goes in motion. 3rd and 5. Hebert has some time, and he lofts it, and it's caught. Complete to Mike Jones, and a first down in the 49er territory. A gain of 23 yards. He had a lot of time there to get that underway.
49ers believing that they can isolate Martin outside on McKyer. As you can see, Hebert checking for blitz. Turns out wide open man. Nice throw. Good job of adjustment. That time by the receiver, 84, Eric Martin.
So McKyer and Griffin are the cornerbacks. As you look at Jones, who's a possession-type receiver and showed it there. Acquired from Minnesota at the beginning of last year. And a 1st and 10 on the 49ers, 49. And Ruben Mays dives forward and nearly gets to the 45-yard line. Dwayne Board and Jim FAHNHORST making the stop. Ruben Mays, of course, with an outstanding year last season. And that's what he did against the 49ers in their last meeting. He gained 4 on that play. It'll be 2nd down and 6 on the San Francisco 45-yard line. Team split last year, and they split the year before that. Pitch goes to Mays. Word is blocking, and Ruben Mays is close to a first down inside the 40. This time, FAHNHORST and Michael Walter combined to make the stop on Ruben Mays, who really hits with power.
Well, the thing about Mays coming out, he ran the Bureau at Washington State, so they weren't real sure about how he would be reacting as a running back did if he was back there by himself handling the ball. A little pitch. It was designed to go outside. He saw the overflow and just simply cut back up inside.
The NFL's top rookie rusher last year with over 1,300 yards. 3rd down and 1 for the Saints. Spotted at the 49ers 40-yard line. 12:25 to go first quarter. First drive of the game. In motion is Eric Martin. And up the middle is Barry Word. And Word close to the first down and appears to have it. This is his first NFL start, and Bill Wall says that we have to start the Saints running game because that's basically what they're all about. First down.
Jim Moore, as you can tell, head coach of the Saints inside, realizing they're going to have to do the thing that they've done the last year since he's been here, and that's simply run the football. We don't want to put the pressure on Hebert, our quarterback, to have to carry us. We don't feel like he can do that. We have to run to take the heat off.
On first down, Ruben Mays loses the ball and alertly grabs it and goes down. An alert play by Mays. Jeff Fuller made the hit on him, and instead of just trying to pick it up and run, he was careful enough just to cover up after the fumble.
One of the real secrets to running outside will be the block of the left end. 85 Hobie Brenner, as you can tell, he's trying to hook his end, does a good job, actually slips down, but when Mays cut back inside, Fuller, the strong safety, slapped the ball out of his hand.
They lost 5 yards, and there's Jeff Fuller, who 49ers say he's a linebacker. A lot of people will say strong safety. He's big enough, though. 2nd and 15, back to the 44 of San Francisco. Hebert has time again and goes to Jones again, and this time it's incomplete. And Tim McKyer playing him a little closer that time as Jones didn't have possession. Out of bounds, incomplete.
One of the problems that Hebert has as a quarterback, it'll be interesting today to watch. He hasn't played in a while, but in the first pass he threw, he stared down Eric Martin. In the second pass, he stared down Jones. Anytime you stare down receivers, you take the coverage there. He's going to have to read the defense, make his mind up, and then come off of receivers. And when he does that, he'll get the other receivers wide open.
Tom Homo and Tory Nixon in there. And the nickel package, that means Charles Haley, number 94, as well for San Francisco. Saints are perfect on 3rd down conversions in 2 attempts. 3rd and 15. Hebert gets a rush this time, and his pass overthrown. And there comes a flag, a late flag. Eric Martin was the intended receiver, and the question is, did Jeff Fuller interfere with him? Took a while for that yellow flag to come flying.
Well, the back judge is the guy that saw it. He's the guy that threw the flag. A lot of times you wonder, though, are these guys playing off the reaction of the home crowd? You know, everyone thinks that it's a flag.
Interference, number 49, defense.
That's a good point. Interference against Fuller, and it's a first down.
Jeff Fuller, 49 in the center of your screen, got his hands on his man. And once there, you see the right hand holding back Eric Martin's jersey. No doubt that was pass interference, defensive holding.
And an 18-yard penalty at that, so it's 1st and 10 for the Saints. Threatening here on the San Francisco 26. Obi Brenner in motion. Ruben Mays with a stutter step and barges forward inside the 25. Tackled by Charles Haley and Jim FAHNHORST.
One of the criticisms that Bum Phillips used to have when he coached the Saints was they were too predictable. Run, 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 and the guy they always ran was Rodgers. And here today, other than Ward handling the ball one time, handling the ball one time, we've seen nothing but Mays up. 2 times he's going out wide, and then 3 times up the middle.
Hard to break old habits.
It certainly is.
2nd down and 6 at the 22. And guess who? Ruben Mays again. Someone lost a helmet as Mays gets inside the 20. Michael Carter making the tackle. We're early here in the first quarter. No score, and the Saints have had the ball throughout this game thus far.
95, Michael Carter, nose tackle for the 49ers. Bill Walsh told us yesterday, this is one guy that we have to have playing. He's the key to our defense. He's the guy that will hold up 2 guards in the center and let our linebackers flow and let them make the tackle.
Carter started the year, looked like he was going to have his best season, got nicked early. Now he's healthy because he's been out of action. This is the 11th play for the Saints on this drive. 3rd down and 3 at the 19. Inside handoff to Mel Gray, and he is stopped on the play. A loss perhaps of a yard, and the 49ers were right there, and it's 4th down.
Dwayne Board coming from the number 76 down inside, simply comes down inside. Dombrowski, the left tackle, misses his block, and Board sitting right there waiting on Ruben Mays. One of the problems out of the shotgun, very hard to audible and get out of plays. You have to pretty much stay with what's called.
This will be a 39-yard field goal attempt by Morten Andersen with Brian Hansen holding. Andersen is perfect so far this year, and he is still perfect as he gives the Saints a 3-0 lead on a 39-yard field goal. 9:05 remaining in the first quarter.
Five-week layoff didn't really affect Andersen at all. Yes, there it is. All right.
Well, the Saints have controlled the ball since the start of this quarter, and they're rewarded with a 3-point lead. And a good deep kick into the end zone. Rodgers, 7 yards in, will down it there for a touchback. And that's what you want the kickoff man to do. Joe Montana, who got some playing experience. He's played 4 games of the 5 already, leading the 49ers and the Saints. Also with a 3-4 alignment defensively. Bruce Clark, Tony Elliott, and Jim Wilkes, all veterans up front. Ricky Jackson, Sam Mills, Vaughn Johnson, and Pat Swilling are the linebackers. A new secondary. We'll tell you more about it. Dave Waymer, Van Jakes, the cornerback, Gibson, the strong safety, and Brett Maxey is the free safety. First play from the 20, and Montana wastes little time. Penalty flag down. He was going for Jerry Rice downfield, and covering on the play was Dave Waymer, and there's a flag down. Dick Jorgensen. And the penalty is against the Saints.
Illegal contact, number 44, defense, 5 yards, first down.
And it's against Dave Waymer.
Thing that happened after 5 yards, Dave Waymer, 44, still had his hands on Jerry Rice going down the field, had his hands all over, and Montana had the ball in the air, and that's the reason they threw the flag.
A 5-yard penalty. 1st and 10 for the 49ers on the 25. In motion is Terrence Flagler, a penalty marker down again, and Flagler, the intended receiver, off his hands with Brett Maxey covering. And another flag. 2 plays, 2 penalties on the first 2 for San Francisco.
Well, I'm a little surprised the 49ers with the flags. They're the one that really have been together.
Illegal motion. Number 81 and number 51. Offense.
Randy
Penalty
Cross,
decline.
the right guard, and Russ Francis, the tight end, declined the penalty.
One of the things I think the fans will enjoy today, a little key for them, is lineups. Montana, Craig.
And the rest. Go ahead.
Bubba, Paris, McIntyre, Fulham, Cross, and the rest.
Montana rolling out on a design rollout, and the pass to Flagler, complete and out of bounds, just shy of midfield, and a first down. Mills makes the stop, and the first start by Terrence Flagler, the first-round pick for the 49ers out of Clemson.
Pressure automatically on the defense. When Montana gets outside wide, Sam Mills, 51, will turn around and chase Terrence Flagler. But the problem is Montana and Flagler, it's like he's wide open. Even though Mills is close, Mills has his back to Montana. He has no idea where the football is.
49-yard line, 1st and 10, a 24-yard pass play. 3-0 Saints. Flagler fumbles, and the Saints have recovered. Sam Mills made the recovery, and he's only 5'9", but has emerged as a leader of the linebacker corps here in New Orleans.
One of the guys that Jim Moore brought over from the USFL inside. 51 takes on the guard, knocks him off, comes inside. Really has no impact on the play other than it recovered the fumble. Here it is again. Coming inside is Jackson, number 57, Ricky Jackson. He's actually the one that put his helmet on Flagler's ball and knocked it out.
So the Saints, on their own 49, have a 1st and 10 on the first turnover of the ball game. Here's Ruben Mays cutting inside and vaulting. He gets into San Francisco territory, and the fine free safety Ronnie Lott makes the tackle. And of a gain of about 4 yards on the play. We talked about the Saints secondary being different. How about the 49ers? Carlton Williamson is on injured reserve. Jeff Fuller making the start, and he would have started anyway, we understand. And Ronnie Lott says, boy, I remember we had Williamson, Hicks, and Eric Wright, and now I have new people back there with me.
New guys, Mack and McKyer, corners, Griffin, these all second-year guys.
2nd and 7, once again, Ruben Mays, and he's hit hard by Fuller. And when Fuller hits you, you feel it.
One of the things that Hebert has to be alert for is anytime he sees Fuller up top, you can see Fuller sits right here. He sits inside, he'll come down inside, and there's no one there. He's like a linebacker sitting right up there. He's got to see that, recognize it, play action, come out and throw in behind him.
There he is at the top of your screen, and an easy play for Fuller. 3rd down and 5 at the 46-yard line. In the shotgun goes Hebert. Hebert quickly over the middle. Hobie Brenner, the intended receiver, and Tory Nixon, the nickel back, knocked the ball away, and it'll be 4th down.
Tory Nixon simply just sitting there. He's standing right in his area. You're going to see Hebert takes a couple of steps, sits up, a lot of time to throw the ball. There's his man wide open. But Tory Nixon breaking on the football. Actually, Hobie Brenner should have come back to the quarterback and made the reception.
Brian Hansen is getting pressed for his job by a fellow named Tommy Barnhart, who is inactive for this game but could come back to haunt Hansen. And Brian is kicking it away and nearly has the kick blocked. Gets off a beautiful high kick inside the 10.
Oh.
Down by the Saints inside the 5. Brett Maxey was the right man in the right spot. A 43-yard kick, and the 49ers are backed up inside the 5. We'll be back to the Superdome after this. Mike Wilson wide to the right. Jerry Rice split left. 1st and 10 at the 4-yard line. And Montana going for Jerry Rice. And a marker down, and the pass was short, and Van Jakes came back and interfered with Jerry Rice. A big break for the 49ers, and they'll get the ball up to the 41 now.
Van Jake's taking over for Johnny Poe as starting right corner. Had Rice covered like a blanket. Simply didn't.
Interference, number 22, defense, first down.
You know, the sad part about this is that there was no way in the world Rice was going to catch that football. He was too well covered. Montana throws the underthrow, which is an excellent pass because Rice is the only one, obviously, who knows where it is. As you can see, the left hand all over Rice by Van Jakes.
49ers have 3 first downs, 2 of them by virtue of a penalty. And Dwight Clark, who caught 9 passes last week in a big game, replaces Jerry Rice. And Roger Craig with the carry, gets a couple, and that's all. 6:50 remaining in the first quarter. 3-0 Saints. Other scores, Tony Elliott and Maxey combined to make the tackle. And a hurry-up offense run by Montana. And Montana going outside, and the receiver slipped. And a marker down. John Taylor, the wide receiver, fell down, and Dave Waymer was back there. And let's see who they called a penalty on. It is a holding call against the Saints, and another San Francisco first down.
Holding, number 44, defense, first down.
2 penalties on Waymer so far.
Rule says that you can make the jam. He's in the right of your screen at 5 yards. There's the jam at 5 yards. Now you must turn loose of him after 5 yards. There's the push in the back at 9 yards, and the ball's in the air. That's a good call.
3 penalties have been assessed against the Saints secondary, and Jim Mora doesn't look too pleased. As Jakes and Maxey are starting their first games, and they have already committed a penalty. Montana finds Russ Francis, and the tight end gets into Saint territory to the 49-yard line before Antonio Gibson makes the stop, and a gain of a couple.
No, Francis is the guy that, as the 49ers are in a hurry-up offense now. Joe Montana, 2 plays, lines them up, calling it again.
2nd and 7 at the 49. Craig looking for room and gets to the 46, a gain of 3. Pat Swilling and Sam Mills, the tackle, and another flag has gone down.
Well,
and now it looks like the Saints just feel they're all against
the side judge threw a flag this time. Too many men on the field by the Saints. But the thing I'm disagreeing with, they're throwing this thing when the play is dead and these guys are starting back. Now, if you see something wrong, throw the flag. Don't wait till the world's all, you know, everybody's got their dinner and they're sitting there enjoying it.
Penalty-filled first quarter.
Walsh is not happy about it.
Here's Dick Jorgensen getting ready to turn that microphone on.
12 men on the field, defense, still second down.
You had that one right. You made a quick count there, didn't you?
No, it really wasn't that hard. One guy was busting his tail to get off the field, and Montana snapped the ball early.
That's the 5th penalty of the ball game, and it'll be 2nd and 2 for the 49ers on the 44 of New Orleans. Roger Craig goes wide to the left, and Montana complete, and a fumble, and the Saints have it. Mike Wilson had it and lost it, and let's see whether they call it a completed pass or not. Van Jakes made the hit, and now they're saying apparently Wilson did not have possession.
A simple little combination, the hook by Montana to his outside receiver, sets up, fires the football. You be the judge. Does he have it? Ball's inside. That's a completion. Both feet were on the ground. The ball, he tucked it away and then immediately dropped the football.
Hey, they may be looking at the tape replay of that. They may be looking at a replay, so we'll check and see whether the people upstairs agree with what you just saw.
Well, as close as things are being called so far, Dick, you'd have to say that I would rule that as a completion. Let's just see. It's in slow motion. Both hands have the football. He pulls it inside, and now the ball is knocked away, and both feet are firmly planted. Now, you make the decision. You folks at home can see.
The ruling is as it was called on the field, incomplete pass.
And keep in mind that it has to be a clear a clear difference for the reversal to take place, and maybe it wasn't clear enough. In any event, it'll be 3rd down and 2. Craig and Rathman are the split backs. Play action, and Montana has wide open Ron Heller, the tight end. And it's knocked away by Brett Maxey. Ron Heller, who scored his first NFL touchdown last week. It was a game winner, a diving catch against the Cardinals, and he had beaten the defense.
Walsh likes Heller. He's the guy that they're working in to take Francis' spot. Gets him deep. He says he has 4.6 speed, has better speed than most guys they've had lately at that tight end position. Got him open. Joe Montana just simply missed him.
Max Rudiger in to kick for the first time, and Mel Gray goes back for the Saints. 5:38 remaining in the first quarter. New Orleans 3 and San Francisco nothing. Flag down again. And Gray will let this bounce on the 10, and it goes into the end zone, but a penalty upfield. A lot of stopping and starting and illegal procedure against the 49ers, and they're going to kick that one again.
You're going to back them up, actually. You take a choice here. Back him up or take it on the 20-yard line. You put him out of bounds. He kicks it out of bounds.
Illegal formation. Number 86 on the offense, an eligible receiver, played right tackle and did not report. Penalty is declined.
That's John
First
Frank,
down.
the 3rd string tight end. They have declined the penalty, and the Saints will take it out on their 20 with a lead when we return to New Orleans. Ruben Mays, who's carried 8 of the 14 plays run by the Saints. 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line. Play action this time, and Hebert looking the other way. Penalty marker down. Fuller knocks it away, intended for Brenner. And another flag is down.
Well, you can see Jeff Fuller, 49, the way he's hollering and jumping around. There it is. They're going to call holding on Fuller.
Holding, number 49, defense, 5 yards, first down.
And the man he was holding was John Tice, the starting tight end. So an automatic first down for the Saints as Mel Gray comes into the ball game. And Tice comes out along with Barry Word.
Evidently, the receivers and the defensive backs especially are having the most problems today with that 5-yard shuck rule where they can't get their hands off these receivers.
At the 25-yard line. In motion goes Gray. And they give it to Ruben Mays, and Mays dives forward to the 30-yard line, 5 yards shy of a first down. Right now, for an NFL Today report, it's on the 30. Hebert dumps it off, and Mays makes a fine catch of a low pass and dives forward and appears to have a first down. Good play by Mays. Tina Turner and Tom Homo made the stop. And it is a first down for the Saints.
It's a screen. You always like to run screens when you've got a team that puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback with their ends. You let them go. You set up, make it look like a pass. Draw everyone inside. Then the quarterback, simply Hebert in this case, drops back, dumps it off. Fine catch that time by Mays. Then he gets the first down.
He's the centerpiece of the Saints offense, at least so far. And a first down on the 36-yard line. 4:23 remaining, first quarter. Still 3-0 New Orleans. Hebert in trouble, escapes damage, and Hebert picks up 9 yards with that scamper. Dwayne Ford and Jim FAHNHORST prevented the first down. Alert play by Hebert.
You take a quarterback in this league that has the ability to move. He has athletic skills that allow him to run. Hebert showed him then. Got the pressure, dug down underneath, saw where the first down marker was, and like so many of the quarterbacks, has that great ability, Dick, to get down there and get the big yardage.
Well, it was all right for you to run because they would bounce off of you, but I don't know about some of these other guys. 2nd and 1 at the 45, and Mays gets the first down and loses the ball, and it's picked up now by Ronnie Lott. And Lott down the sidelines, cuts toward the middle, and is stopped at the 15-yard line. So a very Big play by the 49ers, Ronnie Lott, who picked up the loose ball and rambled to the 15, a return of 32. Carter and Ford make the hit here on Mays.
Well, they've run Mays so much, you've got to wonder whether or not Mays is getting a little fatigued. When an athlete gets fatigued, he makes mistakes. Jumping over the pile, simply loses the ball. It's knocked out. Now, fine job by Lott. Just simply recovers the fumble. No one touches him, and he's off to the races.
Good thing he got that equipment fixed, huh?
Yeah.
Ronnie Lott, All-Pro as a free safety after being a cornerback. All-Pro for many years. Roger Craig on the first down fights his way inside the 10-yard line. Craig, of course, coming into the game as the leading rusher and receiver for the 49ers. Mills and Jakes made the stop as you look at the time. Craig is also the top receiving running back in the NFC right now. Ball at the 9. Craig on an inside handoff, gets maybe a yard, and it's Vaughn Johnson. Well, the Saints are very high on Vaughn Johnson. And according to Steve Sidwell, the defensive coordinator, they think he'll be one of the top linebackers in the league.
Well, a lot of people have compared him to Andre Tippett, although he's on the inside. Johnson and Pat Swilling, 50C, his partner on the right side, playing together. The Saints coaches feel like they have two real legitimate All-Pro linebackers there. They're real solid, real pleased with that side of their defensive linebackers.
They are. 3rd and 4, and the crowd turning it up a notch, hoping their defense can do a job, and Jerry Rice makes the catch for the touchdown. Van Jakes was defending, and Rice gets the touchdown against the Saints. He didn't get one last year against New Orleans. He scored one against just about everyone else, and Rice gives the Niners the lead.
From the bottom, you can see inside and outside, 85 coming inside Wilson, then isolating Rice on the outside with Van Jakes, 22. It's a mismatch. Touchdown.
4th touchdown reception by Rice. And Wersching will now try to add the 7th point with Montana holding. And he does. 2 minutes and 20 seconds remain in the first quarter, and the turnover, the fumble, hurts the Saints. This is headed for Gray, 6 yards in the end zone. He'll down it there, and the Saints will bring it out to the 20.
Touchdown pass to Rice was a simple little out move by Rice and an in move by Wilson that picked off Van Jakes, 22. Nothing fancy on the inside, but you'll see coming in your screen, Mike Wilson, 85, as he picks his man off and allows Rice to get past Van Jakes for the touchdown reception. Pretty simple, nothing fancy, just one in, one out, bingo, there you are.
So first down now, and the crowd quieted down, enthusiastic early, now nearly silent, hoping the Saints can generate some action here. Word goes in motion, 1st and 10 at the 20, and there is Mays, and Mays finds a hole off the tackle and gets a first down beyond the 30-yard line. Stopped by Michael Walter and Jeff Fuller, a gain of 13. And right now for an NFL Today report, let's check in once again with Brent Musburger. Brent?
Dick, the shocker of the day. Tampa Bay has scored 2 touchdowns offensively and this one defensively. Tom Zach fumbles in the end zone under pressure. Winston Moss recovers. The Bears did block an extra point. That's the first positive move of the day, but they trailed 20-0. Back to Dick.
Shocker indeed, Brent. And Terry and I worked that first game in Chicago, and it was no contest for the Bears in that one. Meanwhile, the Saints with a first down on the 33, and carrying this time is Word. He fumbles, and the Saints still have it. Barry Word fumbled it, and the center, Joel Hilgenberg, picked it up, and it's still New Orleans ball.
Well, Word's a young man they want to get in there in place of Buford Jordan, who had been starting for him. The thing they like about him is he's an equally good blocker, but he's a more explosive runner. Well, he may be that. One of the things he'll have to do, or one of the things he's going to have to learn, if he's going to stay in the starting lineup, he's got to protect the football.
Jeff Fuller made the hit. Word, by the way, was a 3rd-round pick out of Virginia last year and did not play. He was on injured reserve. 2nd down and 11. They lost a yard. And Hebert is going deep this time for Martin, and just past Eric Martin who had extended himself to the fullest, and Don Griffin was defending on the play for the Niners.
This is a fine throw this time by Hebert. 29, you can see as Don Griffin, he just simply turns, and what he will do is read the receiver's eyes and try to stay on his hip. Once he notices his head goes back, he turns back to pick up the football. Fine throw.
In talking to Bill Walsh yesterday, he said if you want to compare the two, and there's not much comparison, McKyer is more a big play cornerback, Griffin the steadier.
Yeah. He's a guy that you can depend on. McKyer's the guy that gives you the interceptions. Last year he had 6 of them.
3rd and 11 at the 31. Pressure on Hebert. Penalty marker down, and Hebert's pass is overthrown. And we may have a holding call back there. It was intended for Herbert Harris, and Tom Holmoe was defending on the play. And the 49ers came storming in.
You can look, you're seeing Jim.
Holding, number 72, offense, equal.
Jim Dombrowski, number 1 pick last year out of Virginia, broke a foot against these 49ers and making his first start today of this season. So it's 4th down and Brian Hansen kicking. Dana McLemore back for the 49ers. Not a long kick, but a high one. Off to the side, and it takes a Saints roll, and McLemore, trapped in the corner, is down at the 31-yard line by Alvin Toll, the 47-yard kick. Well, next Saturday at 2:30 Eastern Time, CBS Sports presents more exciting college football action. The undefeated Syracuse Orangemen against the Pitt Panthers, who are 5-2. And the question is, can Syracuse go unbeaten? That's their big test.
Oh, they're playing them at Pittsburgh, too. They're hard to beat there. I remember when Majors came in the pit and got Dorsett and went to beating everyone, and the Steeler team, where's my head? These Panthers are hard to beat at home.
1st and 10 at the 31, they sure are. And Roger Craig on 1st down gets a couple. Jim Wilkes making the stop. Syracuse's big win was against Penn State, and yesterday Pittsburgh beat Navy. Craig Hayward has gone over 100 yards 7 straight games for the Panthers.
260 or 70 pounds of whatever. Can you imagine a fullback being that large? Cincinnati might like this guy.
That's right. There's the gun at the end of the first quarter. Bill Walsh's 49ers have the lead, 7-3. Home in New Orleans, Dick Stockton and Terry Bradshaw, the 49ers with the ball and the lead, 7-3. 2nd and 7 on their 34-yard line. Montana almost dumped it off, thought better of it, and overthrows Terrence Flagler. On the other side, Ricky Jackson covering on that play. That was kind of a weird change of plans by Montana.
One of the things the Saints wanted to accomplish in this game defensively is they wanted to force Montana to check off, to pull the ball down from going deep and go out in the flat with the football. They did a good job that time. Then Montana recognizes that his guys are all covered, pulls it up, moves out, and then throws it out of bounds. Smart play by Joe Montana.
3rd and 7 at the 34. Montana with the short drop, and he overthrows Mike Wilson, the wide receiver, and it's 4th down. Gibson was covering. So if were it not for the turnover, the fumble by Mays setting up the touchdown, the Saints would have the lead. They have controlled the ball in brilliant fashion. As Mel Gray goes back to receive the punt, they had the ball for over 11 minutes in that first quarter, and Max Runeker will kick for the 2nd time. Saints have never finished above 500 in their history. Tremendous kick by Runeker sends Gray back to the 17. And he can't get to the 25-yard line. George Cooper is there to make the tackle. A 48-yard kick, so Bobby Hebert, getting his instructions, will get set to lead the Saints on offense again when we come back. And Lonzel Hill split to the left for the Saints. Hebert Going up on top to Hill, who makes the catch for the first down at the 41. Griffin on the stop. A 17-yard pickup. And I guess if there's anyone the Saints like outside of maybe Lonzell Hill.
Well, Lonzell Hill is the one man that they plan on getting the ball to. He's their deep threat, the guy that can make something happen of all their receivers. Hebert does a fine job of standing in there, turns around, and all Lonzell Hill does simply go down, run out to the sideline, and he's wide open. Nothing fancy there.
Gain of 17. On the 41, 1st and 10. Dalton Hilliard is the running back now. And this time, Hebert going for Hill on the other side, but overthrows him out of bounds, covered by Tim McIyer. Mel Gray actually downfield, not Hill. I don't think Hill would make those long runs on 2 straight plays.
You're see on the left of your screen, Lonzell down. This is great. Down outside, pushes off. McIyer gives him a little left shot, pushes him back to the inside. He goes back to the outside.
Well, if there's one asset that Hebert has, he has the ability to throw deep with touch, according to Jim Moore.
Cajun Rifle.
That's right.
He's got one of those names. Cajun Rifle. If you have a nickname, you know you're something special.
You got to live up to it, too.
That's right.
2nd and 10 now. Mays back in the game, and he carries. Rolls his way forward to the 46-yard line, pick up a 5. So it'll be 3rd down and about 5 now. Larry Roberts and Dwayne Board make the stop. Larry Roberts making his first NFL start against the Saints last year, making his 3rd NFL start today. He was their top pick last year out of Alabama on the 2nd round, and normally plays in the nickel package, but with Kugler and Fagan out, had to start up front. 3rd down and 5 at the 46. High snap. Hebert up the middle. And a great catch by Gray, but he seems to be shy of a 1st down yardage. Mel Gray was hit hard by Keena Turner at midfield, but the Saints are short by about a yard.
One of the things we'd said earlier where they were going to bring Gray out of the backfield, he's actually a wide receiver. That time they went into what they call their flush formation, counting Gray as a 4th wide receiver with 1 back remaining. That gives you 5 people eligible to catch a pass. He simply went up inside, turned around, and caught the football.
Dana McLemore, who played 3 games with the Saints last year after being with San Francisco, now back with the Niners, to receive Hanson's kick. And the kick goes over the head, and it is down by the Saints inside the 5 for the 2nd time in the game. That time it was Reggie Sutton who recovered the ball, kept it in bounds.
Smart play by Sutton. As you can see, he catches up with the punt. The punt hits flat and rolling toward the goal line. Sutton, 29, catches it, says, oh, I'm going into the end zone, turns around and throws it back.
Big play by Sutton, and they have high hopes for him. First half. Audible called by Montana here. And Montana going deep. And Jerry Rice is double covered.
One of the times now you see a receiver, Rice, falls down, but what happened was the defensive back turned around to look at the football. He runs up Rice's legs, knocks him down, no penalty.
What is it like for a quarterback to have to bring out from deep in your own end?
It's very difficult. It's one of the scarier positions. Number one, not only do you have to concentrate if it's a pass on the coverage and blitzes, but you have to also be aware of safeties and stepping out of bounds as you drop back to throw.
2nd down and 10. And the pass to Mike Wilson, and Wilson makes a tough catch beyond the 15. Van Jakes on the stop and a 1st down. He's a big guy, Mike Wilson, 220 pounds, and he had his career longest catch, 52 yards against these Saints 2 years ago.
Hardest pass for a receiver to catch is the slant pattern, where he has to come inside and go in and face all the players that are sitting there waiting on him. Coming out of the end zone like this, Montana knows they're playing zones, and he's getting the football to his receivers in those little seams.
Tom Rathman now in the backfield. And Flagler, with blockers in front, dives out of bounds. Wilson caught a 12-yard pass, and then Flagler carries. And right now, for an NFL Today report, here's Brett again. Brett?
All right, Dick. Neil Anderson, the heir apparent to Walter Payton's tailback spot, gets the Bears on the scoreboard. Now they hit the extra point, and remember the Bucs have missed one. It's 27, Tampa Bay over Chicago. Back to Dick.
All right, Brent, so the Bears start their comeback. We'll see how far it takes them. 2nd and 5 for the Niners on their 21. And Montana going up on top for Roger Craig. And he had beaten Ricky Jackson downfield.
You can read Montana. He wanted Craig to adjust to the football. Montana threw a perfect pass, and all Craig had to do was take one step to the right, and he would have made the reception. It appears that Craig lost the ball in the lights, and I mean, we're inside here, so it's kind of nice.
Jerry Rice told me yesterday, he says, and he dropped a big pass last year for a touchdown against the Saints. He says, I have trouble looking up in the lights. I have problems there, and maybe Craig had similar difficulties. Montana has completed only 2 of his last 8, one of them, though, for a touchdown. 3rd and 5. Montana completes it to Wilson, who has the first down, and he ought to buy him a dinner. Mike Wilson with another 12-yard reception. Van Jakes on the stop, and he's taken the Niners out of deep trouble.
Made a key catch while ago on the quick slant. Now this is the reverse route that he ran while ago, in which Rice made the touchdown reception. Rice goes inside. Wilson goes outside. Joe Montana threw the ball actually behind Wilson. Made a fine adjustment. He can't not only catch a football, but give the 49ers a first down.
Spent a lot of years on the sidelines as a backup, and now has his day to shine. 1st and 10, Niners on the 33. Pressure on Montana, and Russ Francis incomplete, and the marker goes down as Antonio Gibson was right on his back all the way, and I think Russ knew it. He let the ball bounce off, it seemed, and Chick Jorgensen will describe it.
Interference, number 27, defense, first down.
It appears that Antonio Gibson, 27, had his hands on the right arm of Russ Francis, and he can't get his arm up to make the catch. Look at this. He couldn't get his arms up or his hands up to make the reception.
So the 4th penalty on the Saints secondary, which is vastly revamped in this game. Roger Craig, with a good charge off the left side, picks up 9 yards on that jaunt and near midfield before Brett Maxey makes the tackle. Craig playing a lot of the tailback position in this game, and he says he prefers it. It reminds him of his college days at Nebraska when he could read the defenses, and normally he doesn't do that with what the Niners do.
Well, what the Niners do is try to have one back responsible for carrying the football, and everything is set off of motion and play action and little 5- and 6-yard passes, and getting in the eye disrupts the entire method of what the 49ers want to accomplish.
2nd and 1, and Craig reads the defense and gets the first down into Saint territory at the 47. Tony Elliott and Frank Warren in on the play.
You know, Bill Walsh told us coming into this game, when we asked him what really was the key for him to beat the Saints, and he said, we have to run a little this and a little of that, mix up our running. We have to pass a little, mix it up more so than we've ever done before, because the Saints all of a sudden have become a threat to us, and we have to confuse them even more so than we have in the past.
That's the first down rushing, first down rushing by the 49ers. Montana has plays etched on his wrist. His cribbing is okay, and the pass headed for Wilson. Another flag goes down, and it's Van Jakes who's defending, and the secondary of the New Orleans Saints has just committed the 5th penalty of this game.
Number 22, defense, first down.
Well, you make the decision. Did he get to him, to the receiver before the ball? There's the hand over the shoulder. The ball has not arrived past defense. That's interference. Look at it again. Nice clear cut. Now you're going to see Wilson, 85, just comes down, goes to the outside. Van Jakes, 22, runs through the receiver prior to the ball getting there, and that is pass interference.
A 7-yard penalty as you look at the overall penalty story, but a first down for the 49ers on the Saints 39. Montana looks one way, goes the other, and wide open there is the tight end, Ron Heller, and he's in for the score. A 39-yard play, and Dave Waymer might have gambled for the pickoff, and Heller with his second touchdown reception in as many games, and the Niners lead it now 13-3.
You're going to see Heller in the top right of your screen. It'll go out. It goes down the sideline and up the field. Montana looks to his left and punts, turns around and finds Heller, lays the ball up. Now, Heller is open, but look how closely covered he is by 44 Waymer. Waymer reaches up to knock the ball down, misses it, and then Heller makes the catch and goes in for the TD.
He may be heir apparent to that tight end position. Russ Francis on the downside, and Ray Wersching adds the 14th point. So this game for first place, and Bill Walsh had said, we look at New Orleans as our main competition in the division, and so far the 49ers have responded. Kicking off for San Francisco, Mel Gray at the 5 for the Saints. Gray down at the 27-yard line. And the Saints go to work again. Morten Andersen put the Saints in front, and then it's been all Montana and company. 2 touchdown passes, one to Jerry Rice, the other a moment ago to Ron Heller. 8 penalties called against the Saints. 5 of them to their secondary that has been vastly revamped. A bit overzealous are the Saints defensive back so far.
Well, Jim Moore gave his speech last night, so maybe that little pep talk he gave them has had an adverse effect on his players. Is that actually they seem to be trying too hard. When you try too hard, you make a lot of errors.
That can happen. 1st and 10, Saints on the 27. Gray is a wide receiver here, and Mays the running back, and Hebert's pass is batted and intercepted by Milt McCall of the 49ers. And another turnover. Second of the game, and McCall, who will begin internship at Stanford in the spring.
It's a quick set pass by the quarterback. 1, 2, 3, sets up, tries to throw a little hitch. The key, though, is the linemen have to knock the legs out from under McCall. This is not Hebert's fault. It's going to look that way. It's going to go down as an interception, but his responsibility, that defense, number 82, John Tice, had to cut the legs out of McCall to get his hands down. He didn't do the job. Consequently, an interception.
And the 49ers have it 1st and 10 on the Saint 28, and the crowd really getting on Bobby Hebert here. Montana with a design rollout being chased by Clark, and a marker down as his throw is out of bounds, and another penalty flag down. Crowd is on Hebert, and they remember what John Fourcade did in the replacement games. He won their hearts.
Illegal touch by an ineligible receiver, number 81 offense, went out of bounds, came back in touch, penalty is lost of down. 2nd down.
Talking about Russ Francis, and you heard the loss of down there.
Evidently, he ran out of bounds, came back in bounds. You can't do that. Tried to make the catch. There's the flag. Loss of down. The fans are wrong by getting on the Hebert, as I just explained a while ago. Tice's responsibility is cut down the receiver or the defensive linebacker, cut his hands down, and open up a lane for the quarterback.
A lot of banners out here calling for Fourcade. Of course, that's nothing new in New Orleans. They always like the guy who's not playing. 2nd and 10 at the 28, and here is Craig cutting inside and loses the ball. And Van Jakes has it. Jakes in the 49er territory. And that'll bring the cheers back. Roger Craig made the tackle, and Jakes is knocked out of bounds at the 37, but it was Sam Mills who made the hit on Roger.
One of the runs that the 49ers wanted was a cross action. Montana turns around, hands back to Craig. Now let's see what happens. Putting inside, Johnson makes the initial hit, but 51, Sam Mills comes across, knocks the ball loose. There it is again. Van Jakes, 22, picking it up and scooting down to the 38-yard line. Thank you, Sam Mills.
30-yard return by Jakes, and the Saints are in 49er territory at the 37. 1st down, Mays, and a reverse to Mel Gray. And didn't get as much as they would have liked as Tina Turner stayed home in that situation and knocked Gray down. And there is Van Jakes, who made a big play there, second-year free agent from Kent State in Ohio, who has played the nickel and dime situation. And Gray slowly getting up after that strong hit there by Tina Turner, who's known for that.
One of the things you do in reverse is that he set up that same play earlier in the game. If you notice that people are chasing that play, then you set up the reverse. That time they came back with the reverse, and no one made a block. They had 3 people out there. No one made a block for Gray.
You hear the crowd maybe yelling, Fourcade, Fourcade. And that's got to put a lot of pressure on Bobby Hebert.
Well, Jim Moore told us Hebert will start this football game. Fourcade played well in the replacement games, and if you compare the two physically, Fourcade's about the same size. He's a little bit heavier, a little bit stronger, has a much stronger arm. And when Mark talks about him, he talks about him in glowing reports. In other words, this kid can do this kid can do that. He's got great poise. So who knows? Maybe Fourcade will be in there.
Great high school hero here in the New Orleans area. Second down and 8 at the 35. Fuller coming up to the line, showing blitz, doesn't come, and Mays on the delay gets inside the 35 before Walter and Carter make the tackle.
Talking about the quarterbacks and having certainly been a quarterback for many years, I understand what Hebert feels, but Fourcade is a Cajun descent. Bobby Hebert is of Cajun descent. Only 2 quarterbacks in the National Football League of Cajun descent. And I find it hard to find that the Cajun folks will pull against one another like that. But, hey, it's quarterback position, so all that goes out the window.
It's football. 3rd and 6. Hebert in the shotgun now. Penalty marker down, and the pass is incomplete. Intended for Lonzel Hill, and covering was McKyer, and a flag was down. It's against the Saints, and a decision for Bill Walsh here because Morten Andersen can kick him long. Let's see what happens.
Illegal formation. Number 72 was not outflanked by an eligible receiver on the end of the line of scrimmage. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Jim Dombrowski, the guilty party. This would be a 50-yard kick from here, and that's what Andersen is going to attempt as he comes into the ballgame.
Does put you in kind of an awkward position when you have to make a decision on whether or not you want to force the team, back them up and force them to throw again, realizing you pick up the 5 yards or stay where you are. 4th down. This guy can kick them from here.
He can. He hasn't missed yet this season. He is 3 for 3, including a 39-yarder to give the Saints an early lead. This is officially a 51-yard attempt with Hansen holding. It looks short. And it is. The kick is no good. So the opportunity by the Saints, they had the ball on the 37 of San Francisco, and they came up short again. And with 7:38 remaining in the first half, it is still the 49ers leading the Saints 14-3. Taking a look next week at the NFL, as we really get in gear now that the regulars are back. The NFL today begins it all at 12:30 Eastern time, and many of you fans will see the New Orleans Saints against the Atlanta Falcons in an NFC West battle. The second half of our doubleheader, some of you will see the 49ers and Rams in another traditional go, or Minnesota and Seattle. Their own 33. Play action and a good fake to Craig, who's wide open and drops the ball. He was there.
Well, this was a great job by Joe Montana. I mean, a real magician coming out nice and under control there. You see Cross pulling, little fake to Craig, looks to the right. Everyone's totally fooled. Craig's out here all by himself, and a fine throw by Montana. Craig looking downfield, simply just took his eyes off the football, but gosh, what a good job by Montana. Looking right, fake left, turn around, boom.
Craig is struggling so far in this one. Second down and 10. This time he gets the carry, and he cuts off tackle to the 40-yard line, and a gain of 7 right there. So it'll be 3rd and short for the 49ers, making the stop Pat Swilling and Vaughn Johnson, the 2 linebackers who we're talking about. And notice Bears coming back now after trailing 20-0. Right here we have 7 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the first half. 49ers leading 14-3. They've won 4 in a row, most consecutive wins since they finished with 12 straight, including the Super Bowl 3 years ago. Montana with time. Jump pass complete to Craig, and Craig has the first down and gets into midfield area. First catch of the game by Craig, and Antonio Gibson made the stop, and a first down just in Saint territory.
You would like to be a quarterback and run the 49er offense. I talked to Joe yesterday, said just how difficult is it to run this offense, and he said the real problem is not running it, but calling the formations to run it. He said we must have 90 formations for the game, and I literally studied formations and not plays.
Another play action, first down pass, and a catch by John Taylor, and that's good for another first down at the 36, a gain of 13.
Well, now you must be concerned. The defensive backs for the Saints have got to say, look, we're playing so tight on these receivers, and we're getting all these penalties, so now let's back off and give them a little room, then drive on them. Well, now they do that, and look what happens. Close, but not close enough. John Taylor makes a fine catch.
Taylor was impressive in preseason last year and then was on injured reserve all of last season. Just has no experience, but a deep threat. First and 10 at the 36 of the Saints. Montana getting out of trouble momentarily, and down he goes back at the 39, a loss of 3, and it was Pat Swilling who came storming in. Swilling, number 56, plays the same way Haley does for the 49ers. He is a linebacker and sometimes a down lineman on passing situations.
Swilling coming in from the outside, 56, will put the pressure on Montana and force him up inside. There he is. Now he forces Joe up inside. Now you're going to see number 94 coming in from the outside and put the finishing touches on. Good job.
Second and 13. That's the first sack of the ball game. Montana completes it to Craig, who makes a fine catch and is out of bounds, close to first down yardage. Vaughn Johnson making the play, and it looks as if the 49ers offense is in sync, especially Montana and Craig right now.
Well, the point we made at the beginning of the game is that Montana's been playing, whether it's replacement game or send-lot game, he's been playing. Now all of a sudden the Saints decide we're going to blitz. Montana hasn't seen a blitz, so we'll blitz. Now they blitz, and Montana does a fine job of reading the blitz and getting the ball out to Craig, who gets the first down.
NFC coming into the game, nearly 68.5% completion, best in the NFL. And he's at 50% in this game, 9 of 18 for 135 yards and 2 scores. First and 10 at the 26 of the Saints. And here's Flagler, the rookie. And riding him out of bounds, Van Jakes. Flagler getting an opportunity. Got good hands out of Clemson. He was the 6th running back drafted last year, and with Joe Cribbs out with a sore knee, Flagler getting his chance this afternoon.
He's the one player that Bill Walsh said reminds us the most of Wendell Tyler. He's the one kid on our squad that has the ability not only to run straight ahead, but put that little move, you know, juke, juke, right, left, away he goes.
If he can play like Wendell Tyler did, he'll be a bonus. Second and 9 at the 25. Montana has Rice, and Rice lunges forward for first down yardage at the 11. Antonio Gibson on the stop. Methodically, the 49ers threatening to score their 3rd touchdown here.
Well, Rice lining up on the right side. Now, Waymer, 44, has been called for 2 pass interference penalties. Notice how now all of a sudden Raymer is still going deep. And Rice reads Raymer, breaks it off, makes the catch. Well, it's amazing when they start calling those penalties on you, you back off.
That's the 10th first down this quarter for the 49ers, who have a first down on the 15 of the Saints. Out of the backfield, Craig gets away and loses his footing inside the 15-yard line. Gibson put him down, and if he hadn't, Craig would have had pay dirt. Under 4 minutes remaining in the first half. Saints scored first on a field goal by Morten Andersen, but then Montana went to work. We've had lot of penalties and several turnovers, and now Montana in gear has hit 5 in a row after experiencing a passing drought for a while. 2nd and 9. And a handoff to Roger Craig, who runs into the official and gets inside the 5-yard line, close to the first down. It was Swilling and Maxey on the stop, and a familiar play outside handoff to Roger Craig.
They'll invert fullback draw where the quarterback will clear the running back. Notice Montana goes back to run, pass beyond the running back, turns around and gives to him forward, and then Craig takes off upfield running to the lineman, and then finally is taken down on the 5-yard line. It's really not funny. We scored a touchdown in Super Bowl 13 with Franco Harris from 22 yards because of the lineman. The referee was standing right there, and the guys couldn't go through him and make the tackle.
1st and goal at the 5. And there's Flagler, and Flagler running into Jerry Rice as he gets put down for no gain at the 5 by Van Jakes. Clock running, getting close to the 2-minute warning. We have not had any timeouts called by either side here in this first half.
We've seen Montana throw a touchdown pass to Rice on an inside-outside move. We've seen them run the last time twice and not make it in the first quarter. Look for them to come out now with another pick, a little option with one receiver going in, one going out, and Montana reading it.
They're going to wait for the 2-minute warning, and Montana has already trotted over to the sideline. So the 49ers looking to move ahead big here when we come back. Bay is in a surprising move right here, and Young throws the ball away, incomplete, no flag down, and the rush put on by Swilling.
Quarterback sack right here.
They call the sack back at the 17-yard line, and it's Pat Swilling, 56.
56 coming from the outside. Smart play by Swilling. The play action by Young did not fool Swilling, whose responsibility is do not allow anyone to get outside of you. That time he had containment on the quarterback.
9-yard loss. Is Bill Walsh too cute with that kind of move right there?
It shows that he was, because he wanted to get the option of Young outside to run or pass and hopefully run it in.
But they say now that it was a helmet problem. Of course, they could have also called a timeout. Montana back in there, and his pass is incomplete, intended for Roger Craig, and it'll be 4th down. So Montana, because of the helmet problem, couldn't play 1 down, and it might have cost the Niners a touchdown. We don't know for sure, but Wersching is in.
And that's the reason that Young came out with a play action, because what Walsh wanted to do was allow Young to get outside with a great speed and have an option of either running or passing.
Ray Wersching, veteran, is also perfect this year. 3 for 3 from the field goal area, and 5 for 5 in conversions, his longest from 43 yards. 32-yard attempt here. And Wersching's kick is good with 1:28 on the clock. It is now a 17-3 game. 17-3 after the Saints scored the first points of the ball game. I want to remind you, coming up at halftime on the NFL Today, Brandon Erb with scores and highlights. Also back to reality.
Hasn't been sharp, and tried to run the football, which is something we said earlier I expected him to do, coming out of the fact that Hebert has not played, has not thrown a ball competitively in 5 weeks, which leads to, well, Fourcade may be the guy to go to. He's the guy that has been playing, and in the second half, that would be something I think Jim Mora and his staff would have to consider, is bring him in and let him play.
The crowd would like it, but you can't let the crowd dictate what you do. But Hebert certainly hasn't set the world on fire. Wersching's kick, and it's Gray at the 1. And he slices his way to the 23-yard line. Tom Rathman on the stop. So Hebert returns for the Saints. He has completed 4 of 11 for only 50 yards and has thrown 1 interception.
I remember after the 82 strike, we opened up in the Astrodome down in Houston, and it was very hard for me as a quarterback, having not played in 57 days, to get comfortable and get relaxed where I could see things clearly and make positive decisions. And it could be today that that's what Hebert is experiencing.
1:22 remaining in the first half. 1st and 10 on the 23. Ruben Mays finds a hole, and Ruben Mays with big yardage, still going and knocked out of bounds by Fuller on the San Francisco 40. A gain of 38 yards by Ruben Mays, and a great block in there as well.
Well, they're in the hurry-up offense, 2-minute offense by the Saints. Hebert has second play called in the huddle.
Under a minute to go. They still have 3 timeouts remaining. Hebert up the middle, and unable to hold on to it is Herbert Harris. Incomplete pass. It'll be 2nd down, and defense by Keena Turner.
And now you can go back in with 46 seconds remaining, call 2 plays, plenty of time. Hebert gets the signals from the sideline. The Mays run a while ago was set up extremely well by the left guard, Comiskey, 66, and Dombrowski, 72. They both go outside, hook their man, and then Mays simply cut back inside and turned on the speed.
Big play by Mays, who gained 147 yards in the season opener against the Browns, and it was shut down by the Eagles. 2nd and 10 at the San Francisco 39. Hebert in a crowd as Hobie Brenner, and the tight end is shy of a 1st down by about 1.5 yards. Jeff Fuller on the tackle. And now the Saints are going to call their first timeout of this half with 38 seconds to go.
Indecision, is their confidence? It's all in those eyes.
Ray in motion. Handoff inside to Dalton Hilliard, looking for room, and Hilliard is stopped for no gain.
Bad call. Why you want to do that? Why would you call a play like that with 29 seconds left and counting?
Jeff Stover made the tackle along with Dwayne Ford. They still have 2 timeouts remaining, but they're going to run the play, and they now go back to the huddle, and there's confusion on the field now.
2 timeouts remaining. What are you doing? You have to call a timeout. Look at Moore over there telling us, what are you...
They call the timeout now with 7 seconds to go.
Second timeout.
So now the crowd. Hansen will hold. This will be a 49-yard attempt. Anderson is 1 for 2 today. And now the official coming over, and Ronnie Lott, who is the captain for the 49ers. Check what the clock story is here. 7 seconds. Now the 30-second clock is underway. '49ers trying to harass Anderson, who makes good on a 49-yarder. And with 2 seconds to go, at least the Saints come away with something, and it's a 17-6 ball game. Strange series of developments right there in the final seconds. Margin, and Anderson's kick deep into the end zone, fielded there by Rodgers, and with 2 seconds to go, the 49ers have another shot.
This would be probably one of those quarterback snaps and just go down. You don't want to take a chance here. Be interesting to see what happens in the second half, Dick, whether or not Jim Moore decides to stay with Hebert, whether or not he wants to bring Fourcade out and hopefully get some life into it. So far, it's been pretty much a dead offense, with the exception, of course, of Mays.
And now they're going to use up the clock, and that does it. The end of the first half here in New Orleans. The score, the 49ers leading the Saints 17-6.